Hi, I'm Angie. Today I'm going to show you a recipe for basic white bread. It's not difficult to make your own homemade loaves, but it takes a little bit of time, but it's really worth the effort. So let's get started. So the first step is in a small saucepan over low heat, we're going to warm up a half a cup of milk and 3 tablespoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt and 3 tablespoons of butter. And you just want to warm that up over the low heat until the butter melts and the sugar dissolves, and then you take it off and let it cool to lukewarm. The next step is to take 1.5 cups of warmed water. I just warm it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. And we are going to sprinkle over 4.5 teaspoons of instant yeast. This recipe makes 2 loaves. And you just want to let that sit for a couple minutes. Now I'm using a KitchenAid mixer today with a dough hook to mix up the bread dough, but you can actually do this all by hand too. You just follow it the same way. You mix it up with a spoon and then you'll knead it with your hands. This just makes it go really quick and easy. Okay, so I have my yeast and my water in the bowl, and now I'm going to add in the butter, sugar, salt mixture. I'm going to start by adding about 4 cups of flour. It's approximate. Total flour will be about 5.5 to 6 cups. Just let that mix until a soft dough forms. The mixer now is making a soft dough. We're just going to let it continue to knead, and we'll add a little more flour as it kneads it when it gets too sticky. You can see that the bowl is now clean and the dough has picked up all the extra from the edge of the bowl, and we'll just let it knead the bread until it's smooth and elastic. About 2 minutes. It will take a lot longer by hand, probably about 15 minutes. So just let it go. Okay, that looks good. So we'll take the dough out. It's going to be a little bit sticky. And what I like to do is knead it by hand just for a minute or two, just to get the love in there. And then you can also see the action that you'd have to take if you were doing this by hand. So here's the dough, and I've put it on a lightly floured countertop. What you want to do is push it away from you and bring it back over top. And then turn it a quarter turn and do it again. You can see how really nice and smooth that is. And that's just what you want. Oh, it feels really nice. And the more experience you have at making the dough, you'll learn exactly when it's ready to go. Now what you're going to do is let it rise in a warm place. So I've buttered a big bowl here, my good stainless steel bowl. You put the dough in and just give it a turn so that the top gets a little butter on it. And I just tuck it under because you want to form a nice ball, sort of mushroom shape that it can rise upon. Gives it a base to go with. And then I cover that with a nice clean tea towel. And what I do is preheat the oven at 325 for 1 minute, turn it off, and leave the light on, and that's a nice warm place for the bread to rise. I actually have a proofing button on my oven, so that kind of makes it nice and easy too. Or you can do it on top of the oven or anywhere that's warm and draft free. So you want to let the dough rise until it's double in bulk, and it'll take about an hour. Okay, so it's been about an hour, and there you can see the dough has doubled in bulk. It's really soft and puffy now. So take it out of the oven and you just punch down the middle. You can see it deflating, and scoop it all into a ball. Now we're going to shape the loaves and put them in the bread pans, and then let them rise one more time, and then we'll bake them. So you want to knead it for 1 second just to collapse it, and we'll cut the dough in half. So we're going to get 2 loaves out of this. Okay, so this is how you shape the loaf. Sprinkle a little bit of flour, and you want to use a rolling pin to roll it into a rectangle. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can just use your hands to kind of flatten it out. You just want a really rough rectangle. And using the rolling pin just gets all the air bubbles out. Okay, and now starting at the small end, you're going to roll it into a loaf shape. And when you get to the end, you just want to pinch the ends closed. You don't have to be really delicate with it. It's not like it's pie crust or something like that. You can really get it the way you want it. And I've greased my 9x5 loaf pans, and you're just going to put the loaves in there. Do the same thing with the other half. So I've done the other half the exact same way. Put that in the pan, and we'll put these in the oven to proof, and I'm just going to put the same tea towel back over top of them. So the loaves are in the oven, and they're going to rise for about 55 minutes to about an hour. So what I do is take them out after 45 minutes because it takes about 10 minutes for my oven to preheat. So the loaves have risen for the second time for about an hour, and now I'm just preheating the oven to 400 degrees, and we're going to bake them for 30 minutes until they're nice and golden on top. So it's been 30 minutes and the bread is done. You just want to take them out of the pan right away so that they don't get soggy. And a good way to tell if they're done is hit the bottom, and it should have a nice hollow sound. I wish I had computer smell-o-vision because it just smells so good in here. There you have it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your homemade bread.